Sweet. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. This is our Thursday morning production call. And man, we got a great one lined up for y'all today. If you're in our organization, y'all have been hearing us talk about this 90-day blitz. And, one of my favorite things about training is talking about results, talking about what's possible, and why we train on what we train on, and, what's the purpose of doing what we do. Right. So we're going to give y'all a bunch of nuggets on how we do it, why we do it, and then the results that we are getting from doing it. And it's really cool because we got a whole bunch of different levels of success, right? So everyone can absolutely take something from it. But I always like to talk about, right, how do you get the most out of this call? Again, if you've never been on this call, it is an hour-long call. I want to make sure, right, you benefit from it. So one of the things I ask all of y'all to do is grab a pen and notepad because it is a lot of information. It is impossible for you to remember everything we're going to talk about. Don't want you to do that, and I want you to get the value out of it. And then very, very important, we're going to give you a whole bunch of things that we do. We do not want you to go and change your entire way of how you run appointments and how you do things. Guess what? You know what to do. You're writing policies. You know how to help a family, but you can get better. Right. So out of this call, just write, just out of all your notes, take 2 or 3 things that you're like, hey, you know what, I'm not doing that. And I think that can bring value to my appointment, right? Or how I do business. And then just simply start adding those in, right? That way you don't change everything you're doing because you're already helping families, right? And the last thing we want you to do is change everything. And then all of a sudden next week, you don't write anything, right? Just grab some nuggets, apply it to your business. And that helps you so much, I promise. And then the next thing is we do work as a huge community in the Cook hierarchy. So if some nugget helped you and you're like, wow, it made a difference. And I feel like that's why I got the application or that's why I helped the family. If y'all can post that nugget in band, because we do work as a community and other agents see that and they, that way they can grab that nugget and use it as well. So we're going to get into it. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things for a 90-day blitz. And this is not the things inside the 90-day blitz, and I'll cover those too, right? But this is what I want y'all to get out of the call, right? So we're on the 90-day blitz. One of the biggest things is write this one down is posture, right? A 90-day blitz will give you a posture like no tomorrow if you follow it correctly. The next thing is self-training. So write that down. This is going to train you so fast. Like when you see an agent that has a learning curve of 6 months, this is how you cut it in half. This is how you get a learning curve of 90 days. The next one is the bank account, right? We're not doing this for free. We want the bank account to feel it, right? So this is going to help your bank account. The next one is your life. Right. Again, we do this. This is still our job, right? We still work. It's our business, and we're doing it to make more income, right? And we want it to affect our lives. So this is going to teach you how to affect your life in 2 different ways. So write these next to life. One is schedule, right? And the other one is lifestyle, because we want to affect that. And then the last one is you can do this with all types of leads. And I think that's very important to hit. Right? Because we always think it's leads and it's not, it's us. Right? So it's with all types of leads, right? Just put all leads can do this. You can do this with all leads. The reason I love to say that, right, is I always reference, we had a DJ, or what was his name? DJ Robinson or something like that in our organization.
Yeah.
That dude was like #1 in Symmetry. He was writing like 500,000 a year on 50-cent leads.
Yep.
Right? We still have a LaTanya Jackson or Jones in Symmetry, right? That, again, same thing, I think off of 50-cent leads, right? It's like 400 grand a year, right? It ain't the leads, I promise y'all, right? So we're going to go first. Let's hit on the 90-day blitz, right? And I want to keep this super interactive so that everybody can be part of it. Feel free to jump in, but can everyone or can somebody unmute and tell me what are we doing daily for the 90-day blitz? What should we be doing? Don't be shy. If you don't know what it is, how are you on a 90-day blitz?
100 dials.
We've got, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'll do half of them. You do the rest.
Sounds good.
200 dials or 6 appointments, half gallon of water, 30-minute workout.
Got
10
10 pages,
of course.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then Nathan, I'll let you finish the rest.
We got band post once a day, 15 sits, has got check marks for each of those. 5 FIF resets. And then if you're building an agency, 10 interviews, conference registration, and regardless, check in with your upline at least once.
Right. And the reason, right, again, I asked that question, and I want y'all to answer it. There's a whole bunch of y'all posting you're on a 90-day blitz, right? But if you can't say it, do you really know it? Are you really living by it? Right. I always love I pride myself on I don't know anything, right? Like I can learn from absolutely everyone. I don't care at what level, right? Like I truly believe that. And so, this past week I was down in Tennessee, right? We did the AOA Academy and we were doing the corporate overview. And I text Josh Buchanan in the morning. I'm like, hey, dude, we got to go walk, right? Like if we're doing a 90-day blitz, dude, like I can't stop, right? I gotta go walk. So, we text back and forth, and I finally got him out of his bed in the morning, and we went to go walk. And he said something that was very profound to me, and I've just been sitting on it now going on 2 weeks, right? Like this is a lifestyle, right? Like and then it was perfectly lined up because somebody said it. It was Michael Matthews too at Agency Owner Academy also said like, this is a lifestyle, right? Like this isn't a job. It really is. And I've just been sitting on that, right? And the 90-day blitz really kind of ties that in, like what kind of lifestyle this is, right? And so, when I say lifestyle, like, we read books, we do self-development. Most of us are very, very ambitious, right? And we're going for the work-life balance and what's possible here. And, it's knocking on the door in realms of being millionaires, right? Of being business owners, of being really good business people, right? And more than anything, being very successful people, right? And successful is not always tied to money. It's tied to life, right? Am I a better father? Am I a better husband? Am I a better, right, kid, right? Am I a better brother, sister? And these things change you, right? Like we change, right? That's why you talk to any leader in Symmetry that I've just changed from who I was, right? I'm not talking about like a bad change. I'm just saying we become different people through the process, right? And with the 90-day blitz, it just kind of, it gives you the ability to do a little growth spur, right? Think of that, right? Like as we're growing up as kids, sometimes, right, we all of a sudden we grew like 3 or 4 inches out of nowhere, right? And things have changed, right? And our body went through something at that point, right? And that's why we had like a 3 or 4 inch growth spur all of a sudden. And what a 90-day blitz is, we control that now as an adult. We should always be getting better, right? And a 90-day blitz kind of gives us that control to have a 3-inch growth spurt. And I want y'all to think about that, right? And what it does is it does it for your production, right? It does it for the 5 things I asked you to write down. That's what's really cool, right? Like if that matters, then you need to take this seriously, right? If you don't know, if you say you're on a 90-day blitz, you should be able to call them out. Like this is what I do every single day, right? Like I'm drinking water, I'm reading my 10 pages, I'm doing my exercise, I'm shooting for 200 dials, I'm running for 6 appointments for tomorrow, and I'm doing my band post. Right? Like I am trying to hit all those things every single time, no matter what. And the reason I bring that up, look, I love it. Everyone's posting on band and stuff, right? But I see things are missing, right? You have to be not okay with missing things a day. Are you going to miss some stuff here and there? Absolutely, right? Like life happens. But the whole point of a 90-day blitz is you're committing to yourself of, I want to do these things every single day to give myself the ability to have a growth spurt, right? And commitment's a big word. And we're going to talk about that right now first, because it's the difference of, am I willing to push through a little bit more, right, to make a big change later? Because I promise you, right, like some of the results we're going to tell you are insane, but it takes consistency, right? So I want to challenge y'all, right? And challenge yourselves, right? Whatever you're doing for your 90-day blitz, right? But if you're shooting for 200, right? If hey, every day, no matter what, I'm committing to 200 dials a day or 6 appointments. And you know what? I'm committing to both. But today you stopped for whatever reason at 180. Like you got to push. You got to push. Get to that 200. It will make a difference of consistency over the next 90 days. Because think about it, add 20 dials up, right? 5 days a week or even 2 days a week at the end of the month, like you're going to be short a couple hundred, couple thousand dials. What if that one appointment, right? Because you're one appointment from a 5K day, right? And you could be losing that. So I want to talk about that, right? Same thing if you're shooting for your 6 appointments and you got 5, right? But you've already, now I'm at 215 dials. Like, don't stop. The whole point of a 90-day blitz is it's hard, right? Like you're willing to push through and do extraordinary. Like it's not normal. A 90-day blitz is not normal. It's going to go back to a little term I've thrown around before in the past is extraordinary activity generates extraordinary results, right? But you just have to commit to those little things. And it's hard. That means you got to plan from the very beginning of the day, right? Because you're going to run out of time. It's going to all of a sudden be 7 p.m. and you're going to give yourself every excuse like, no, I can't dial those extra 20 dial after 7 p.m., Xander, right? Like we start telling ourselves everything under the moon to be okay with the decision of just falling short, right? And here, if you go look at those 5 things that you wrote down, right? I don't want to fall short of any one of those. I want the best posture. I want to be very well trained. I want my bank account to reflect. I want my lifestyle to be different, right? And I want to be able to do it with the ability of any kind of lead that's in front of me. Right? So when you commit to a 90-day blitz, just remember any day you don't hit it, right? Those things that you're supposed to, you've sacrificed one of those, or if not a lot of those. Right? You just got to hold yourself accountable, plan from the beginning of the day. This is very intentional, right? Like a 90-day blitz is a lifestyle. I love how Josh said, like, it's a lifestyle. You have to intentionally wake up. And Nate, maybe you can talk to this, right? Because like, I love how you were talking about the 6 a.m. wake up for you, right? And how when you don't, right, it just feels like.
Today's a great example. Guess when I 30 minutes before the huddle. Guess what I've been doing? Trying to eat breakfast, trying to walk the dog, trying to catch up on my interviews, trying to make the production call. It's a bit of a train wreck. So case in point.
And be vulnerable enough to be like, okay, I didn't do it today, but be unhappy with it, right? You got it. If you're a business owner, and Dorinda, maybe you can give us some insights on here. You're a business owner, right? Like we get upset when business doesn't happen the way it should, right? And you should be upset. It's okay as a business owner, but then you got to go do something about it, right? Because you're a business owner. No one's coming to save you, right? Like no one's coming. When Dorinda's Chocolates has a problem, she doesn't have anyone to call. She has to figure it out, right? And we all are a business, right? Like no one, right? Your upline, it's not your upline, right? Like I'm not going to go and Nate, come on, wake up. Like I need you to go ahead and start dialing and let's get you caught back up. And like, we can't do that, right? No one's coming to save you other than yourself, right? And you have to be problem solving oriented, right? Like you have to figure it out. It's okay. So you fell behind today. Are you going to make the decision of, okay, I'm behind, so that's it, the rest of my day is blown? Or nope, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to check all the boxes still. Because when you make that commitment in the 90-day blitz, we're going to get into what happens, right? Because again, and the reason I want to push those little things is don't be okay with not hitting those things on the 90-day blitz. Are you not going to do it every single day? Yes. But tomorrow's a new day and shoot for it, right? Just don't be comfortable just letting them all slide, because then you're going to tell us, right, 90 days later, Elijah, that, man, I did a 90-day blitz and I didn't deposit 30 grand, right? Well, did you? Like, did you do a 90-day blitz? Like, because you were 50% of those days, you were okay with not checking all those boxes. That's not the whole point. The whole point of a 90-day blitz is maybe 10 days out of the 90 days you didn't check all those boxes, right? So if we're on day 10, you've already missed a whole bunch. You better be really good the next 80 days, right? Or like a 75 hard, you better start over and run it.
Yep.
Right? Like, again, you got to commit to this stuff. What I can promise you is insane results on those 5 things that I told you to write down. Right? You just have to commit. And so we're going to give y'all some practicality of it. Right? Let's start with And again, right, I hope everyone knows what the 90-day blitz, if we kind of think, Amber, you have the slide, right? You can post it on band, the 90-day blitz reminder, right? So that way you know it, right? But it's half a gallon of water. If you don't have it written down, half a gallon of water, 30-minute workout, right? Walk, exercise, I don't care, move. It just says move. Just move your body, do something different, right? 10 pages. Make sure you're doing the 10 pages properly, right? If you're a reader, don't go read 15, 20 pages, right? Because I see that post already out there too, right? You're not becoming an overachiever because you need to read 10 pages so that you can pick 3 things out of those 10 pages and apply it to your life first, your home, and then your business. That's why when I had y'all write down life, it changes your lifestyle, right? And your life. But you got to be intentionally applying it to your life, right? So that's how you do when you read 10 pages, 3 things, intentionally go apply it to your life and intentionally apply it to your business. And then there are 200 dials, 6 appointments. Some of y'all are running for even bigger stuff, right? If you're committing to 300 dials, right? 400 dials, whatever it is, or 10 appointments, right? Or 8 appointments, right? Just be push yourself to hit that goal every single day and be intentionally starting early. And then your band post. The band post is super important, keeps all of us energized. Trust me, when Nate doesn't wake up at 6 a.m. and somebody posts that they woke up at 5 or 6 a.m., it makes him mad and it makes him want to do it in the morning, right? So like we're pulling each other up, right? Like the more of us actually do a 90-day blitz, the more of us are actually going to win at a 90-day blitz. So we create a whole wave of energy. And that was the whole point of doing a 90-day blitz, is like getting the whole organization running together, right? Of we can do this and we're going to have a whole bunch of winners, right? Like I'm excited about probably day like 40 of how many 5K weeks y'all are having if you commit to this. I want y'all to think about that, right? Like by day 40, Xander, like I bet you it's going to be like another 5K week, another 5K week. Like we'll be on the national leaderboard and you're just going to see a ton of folks, right? Like Elizabeth Tracy has had an insane 2 weeks, like just absolutely crushing it, right? Like I'm just super stoked to start seeing more and more of that. So the band post is super important. And then just remember on the 90-day blitz, the weekly goal is the true fight, right? Like you're fighting to get 15 sits, 10 interviews a week, right? That you actually sit with, 5 FIFs, register one person, right, in your organization if you got an owner's code, and reach one, and one time, at least one time a week, right, reach up to your upline so you can ask them for advice on your business. Remember on that one, it's not a complaint. It's not to call them and say, Xander, my leads don't work. This sucks, right? Like, I can't do the dials. No, when you do an upline reach out, remember it's the mentor-mentee relationship. It's being open to get some advice on your business, right? And in case you don't realize, if you're needing help, it's probably going to means you need to change something, right? Which is going to feel like you're doing things wrong, and the person that's coaching you is going to sound like they're telling you you're doing things wrong, right? So
Joe, I think it's important to have a really good idea of the change, because you can kind of say the same things when you're complaining versus when you're asking for help. It's just how you go about it, right? Because you're like, it's not this doesn't work, this sucks, I hate my leads. Well, what even is this? It's man, I'm really struggling with XYZ. I'm really struggling because of this. Great. Okay, let's take a look at it. Totally different conversation.
Yep, right. Just again, be willing to, they're going to tell you something needs to be done differently, because, right, the definition of insanity and getting the same results is doing the same thing you did last week, right? Do it this week and then be like, I don't know why I didn't write $5,000 this week. Well, we need to change something, right? So just be open to that. Again, these are things that will make huge differences in your business. So we're going to hit posture, right? A 90-day blitz. If you're doing that, this is what's happening. You are, and John will hit on this on Monday, right? Like he booked more appointments than he had ever booked before in a day, right? So posture is built by, right, the feeling of knowing you got more in your back pocket, right? I want y'all to think about that. Like posture is feeling, right, you got more in your back pocket, right? Like you're not worried about this one appointment. And there's so much power, so much power in that, because it makes you run your appointment with comfort, right? It makes you run your interview with comfort. And I think one of the biggest things a new agent tells us, like, I feel uncomfortable, right? Like, I don't feel good about the script. I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel comfortable running it live in the workroom, right? Or live in front of my mentor. I don't feel comfortable, right? Again, you don't feel comfortable because you don't have the posture, right? You don't feel like you're enough in that appointment. How do you get there? Is you just got to have a whole bunch, right? Like, that's what the 90-day blitz does for you. It makes you run an appointment. And here's the magic words I love to say. It makes you run an appointment for the client. I want y'all to think about that. It makes you run the appointment for the client, right? So, like, I ran an appointment yesterday for a young couple, 21, 25, or 26 or something like that. And there, it was a no, but it allowed me to ask even deeper questions to the client, because I didn't care, right? I had 7 more appointments for that day, right? So if it was a no, I was going to get, Xander, I was going to get the most defined no that I can possibly get. But I only did that because I wasn't afraid to lose it. Right? Like, so I had the posture. They were like, we went through the whole thing. We broke down the money, and it was very evident, right? Like, it was, in fact, they both were bringing in around 2,500. Their bills were 4,000 going out. They only had $1,000 in the bank account. One goes, the other person can't keep it, right? Now, it wasn't for them because they were like, yeah, we just really don't care, right? Like, somebody will have to go move in with their mom. That's what they told me, right? But again, my posture wasn't even enough there. My posture allowed me the ability to be like, hey, so I just want to make sure, right? John, you pass away, so you're okay with Mary not being able to figure it out because you got $1,000 in your bank account, and I mean, from what you said, we don't care what happens to her and the home at that point. We very rarely say things like that. But when you got posture, when you got 8 more appointments today, let me tell you, you'll be amazed of how great appointment, right? Like, your appointments start to become so much better. And I mean, Elijah, you want to add anything to that, right? Like, you got one of the best
Yeah.
postures I've ever seen.
Couple things. One is if you're doing a 90-day blitz or a 90-day madman cycle, if you feel comfortable, you're not doing it right. You're not
That's
doing
so
it
good.
right. You shouldn't be comfortable, because if you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're not doing anything to push yourself. Like if you go to the gym and you just kind of do the bare minimum, you're not going to hit any sort of gains or growth, because you don't grow in your comfort zone. And the same translates for this. If all you do, if all you've ever done is make 50 or 100 dials a day because that's what makes you comfortable, good luck to you. You may get lucky every now and then and fall over an application. But if you really want to do something extraordinary, like what Joe was talking about, you got to get uncomfortable. And the discomfort doesn't last forever, but you're uncomfortable because you're doing something you've never done. And most of the people on this call have never done a 90-day madman cycle. And so it's going to be uncomfortable. But when we talk about posture, I think a lot of new agents, real quick show of hands. When you come into Monday, do any of you guys have the thought of, I wonder if I'm going to close something this week? Or I wonder if I'm going to write an application? And does anybody feel that way? I never feel that way anymore. When I was brand new, that's what I felt like. I was wondering, okay, are my appointments going to show up? I wonder if I'm going to write something. Now it's no question. It's like, I wonder how many families I'm going to help, because my posture doesn't allow me, Joe, to run any less than 15 appointments a week right now. That's the posture. That is the standard I've set for myself. And a lot of people, man, they'll start getting uncomfortable. Maybe they have a long day, they're getting tired, whatever. They're mad because they got no code. And then they start to negotiate with themselves. Oh, I'll do 20 extra dials tomorrow. Or I'm not going to call this person back. Whatever. They move the goalpost to make it easier for themselves so that they don't stick to it. And it goes back to the 75 hard program, man. If you miss a day, you got to start back over, because it's meant to push you. And so if you are serious about getting your posture right, where you're not wondering I going to close something this week? It's a matter of how many families I'm going to help. And you want to have the posture to where you're okay asking uncomfortable questions like you did to that young couple. So let me understand this right. You're telling me if something happens to you, you're okay with your wife losing the house? Yep. Okay. I can't do
It feels
anything
so
for
weird to tell them to their face.
yeah. Dude, I pull that all the time if somebody's being weird and sassy with me, like, oh, I don't care what happens. Well, then why the hell are we talking? Like you sent it
His answer back to me was like, well, she'll have to go find a sugar daddy.
right. And you're just to make sure we're all okay with that.
Yep.
Okay, that's not worth $20 policy. Well, all right then, bud. Move on. And so posture is what you want, and it's confidence, it's assumption, it's believing that you're the best person to help this family, you're doing the job, and it's expecting the right outcome. You're not asking permission to write the application. You're assuming that you're gonna close it. And so the only way you get that posture is by having enough activity. Because if you come into your week and you got 5 appointments or 6 appointments, I hate to break it to you, but it's hard to I would have a bad week if that's all I ran. And I'm a pretty darn good producer. And so if you want to have a really good posture where you're not needy with interviews or appointments, the best way to solve that is do more of it and have more people to talk to.
I love it. Right. And again, posture is what builds comfort. Right. Like I want y'all to realize that, right? Because yes, it's uncomfortable. It is super uncomfortable, perfectly fine. Right. Like something they said at AOA Academy, they were like, okay, that's there. Let's get you to the next level, right? And 90-day Blitz just forces you to move through that a lot faster, right? Again, I'm always trying to find, I don't want to say a shortcut, but I want the fastest route there. Like that's just my mentality, right? That so like when I was first introduced to a 90-day Blitz or 90-day Madman cycle, whatever we want to call it, right? Like for me, that was like sweet. That's what I need to do to shorten my learning curve, right? Like if y'all remember, I always talk about like I have to do whatever it takes because I am not good at this, right? Like I'm just willing to do whatever it takes to get good at this, right?
Mhm.
And the 90-day Blitz again is a growth spurt for y'all. And if you truly look at it like that, just be willing to think about it, right? A 90-day sacrifice of hitting all these things, right? And when I say sacrifice, like you'll probably be healthier, you'll probably be smarter, right? And you'll probably have more money in your bank account. You're welcome, as my brother would say, right? Like it's not bad things that are gonna happen. You're welcome, right? Like you're gonna commit to a 90-day growth spurt, right? And guess what? It hurts, right? When think of it, when if you have little kids, right? They're like, oh man, my bones hurt, and I don't know why my little legs hurt. They're going through a growth spurt, right? And just realize it's okay, right? And it's going to be a little painful, but you're going to figure it out if you're willing to commit to it, and you're going to have amazing results. The next one, right? So anyone have any questions on posture or anything, or anyone want to put anything in there? Go once, going twice. Sweet. Self-training. I'm a nerd when it comes down to life insurance, right? And when I say nerd, is that I just want to be. I love to practice being a student, right, of the industry. And a 90-day Blitz, if done properly, you become a lot more knowledgeable in the way we do business. I want to make sure I say that very clear. Not in products, right? I still don't know anything about products. Just the way we do business, the numbers, right? And training in the appointment, right? I love a brand new agent because a brand new agent usually comes in here and they're like, I need to know all this about insurance. Nope, you need to start learning how to run appointments, right? Because running appointments is how we make income. And it's like a driver's license, right? Like almost everything we studied to get our insurance license, I don't use it. Right? Like I almost don't, I don't remember anything on the test because I don't use it daily. I use, right? I use the best script and the real script, right? I'm trying to draw emotion. Nowhere in my license of life insurance was emotion, right? Nowhere was being a consultant and finding the best product, right? Or the best thing for the client and solving their why, right? Like the emotional labor. I didn't take a test on emotional labor, right? So that being said, I always love to say this, right? Like when I hire somebody brand new, Elijah, I love to tell them like, hey, look, congratulations on your life insurance policy or license, right? But the insurance license doesn't make you $100,000 to $200,000. It's
No.
our training,
Yeah.
right? Like
Actually,
it's our training. And so through a 90-day blitz, a lot of things are going to happen. And I love to be super clear about this. You're gonna be sitting with more people. You're going to be dialing more than you ever have. That means by default, you're going to hear no more than you ever have heard no before. You're going to get no showed more than you ever have before, right? And the cool part is you're going to run a really good appointment more than you ever had before and still get a no, right? So it instantly, and I mean this so strongly, right? It instantly starts to feel like you're failing a lot more. Every top producer, every 15K producer in my organization that has ever made that run and to that level literally calls me and they're like, I'm doing everything wrong. Like I need help. Right. I'm like, I don't know if I'm running the right appointments. I don't know if my leads are right. My dials are right. Like, no, whoa, relax. You just weren't braced for more no's. So it feels like you suck a lot more, right? Because again, you're just getting more no's. So self-training has a lot to do. That's why the 10 pages is so important. You better be reading like your life depends on it. Like do not do. I'm telling you right now, do not do a 90-day blitz if you're not willing to read 10 pages a day. You will fail. I promise you. Instant failure, right? Because you won't have the mental capacity to go through all those no's, right? So that's one of the big ones, and that's why it's there at the very beginning. And you got to read in the morning because you can't go through all those dials that you've never dialed before. You can't go through all those appointments that you've never ran before, right? And go through all those no's that you've never gotten before, and expect to be in a good mindset by the end of the day. By the middle of the day, like you won't be. You'll start attracting negative energy, right? You'll be like, have you ever thought of dialing? And you're like, I don't even know why I dialed. No one's going to answer today.
Yep.
I have, right? If you have that mindset, you stop. In fact, stop dialing and drop and give yourself 10 pages.
Dude, I
Right?
had a conversation with Xander a couple of weeks back. He was having a rough couple of days, and he called and he's like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. And we were talking about his numbers and stuff. And I was like, bro, you should go on a walk. You should go take a little break, go hit the gym, get your 10 pages in, get your mindset right. Because if that's the way you're thinking about dialing or running appointments, I can almost guarantee you're going to have a bad dial session.
Yeah, like the rest of the day is gonna go wrong. Don't do it. Like energy
Yep.
attracts energy, and men like you don't think you sound bad, but I promise you, you're saying things that on purpose are not letting you book appointments. It could be
Yep.
tonality, it could be a little word, right? Little stuff like, well, it sounds like you're probably not interested. Great, bye.
Yep. And I think it comes back to knowing yourself to lead yourself. We have to be self-aware enough to know how we're feeling. And here's the deal. You're never gonna be like, I can't wait to go dial. No one ever feels that way except Jordan Gillum. Okay. She actually gets excited about it. Most of us, that's not the case. And so sometimes you can't listen to yourself, but other times you have to know, okay, I'm in a bad mindset right now. I'm negative. I'm being a negative Nancy. Woe is me, Eeyore, making excuses left and right. Everything's going wrong. That's a bad mindset to go in and do the highest IPA you could be doing. And so you might need to take a little 20-minute breather, go touch some grass and get your mind right. Get your 10 pages in, go get a 30-minute workout in, and then come back. It's amazing what something as simple as that will do for your mindset, dude.
It's crazy.
Um,
It's crazy. I saw one where he does 10 push-ups, and just because the adrenaline runs through your body, right?
mhm.
You are in a complete and how did he say? He goes, how do you feel right now, energy wise? And the guy, he pulled him on stage and he goes, I feel like I'm a 2 or 3 right now, right? Because he was nervous. The guy pulled him on stage, right? And he was like, he goes, where comfort level and energy level, what level do you feel? And he goes, I feel like a 2 right now. He goes, let's do 10 push-ups together. And he does them with him on stage, right? And it was not a healthy guy, right? So he barely made the 10, right? And so, but he gets back up and he goes, now what does your energy feel like? He goes, dude, I feel like a 10, right? Like
Yep.
you just got to get yourself when you're in a little rut, right? Go get yourself 10 pages, a walk, like you got to re-energize yourself. And this is self training, right? And I want to hit on this, Elijah. So self-training means you got to be intentional about this because again, you're gonna start sitting with a lot more people or gonna get more no's or dial more, so you're gonna hear more different objections. You can't do that at your level right now. Think about that. Whatever level you're at, you can't expect to just start doing massive more and you're going to have that massive more results. It's not possible, right? It's something that can't be done. What you have to do is go train through that process as well. So on top of right now I'm dialing more, booking more, working more, you also have to be self-training more. That means you have to go listen to more SoundCloud audios than you ever have before. I would challenge y'all on a 90-day blitz, you should be listening to 2 SoundCloud audios a day minimum,
Yep.
right? Because
Can I speak to this real quick?
yeah.
Because you took the words out of my mouth, Joe. Before you mentioned it, I was already thinking SoundCloud. When I was brand new in my this was after my first conference that I really got serious about this. And I think the main thing I learned about myself when I went to conference is, man, I don't know jack. I don't know anything about this. And when you're going through your 90-day blitz, it can feel like I'm doing everything wrong. And it can almost feel like I'm wasting my leads and appointments because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so if that's you, or even if that's not you, what you should do is one, go if you don't have the SoundCloud app on your phone, just download SoundCloud. It's an app. It's free. Search Symmetry Financial Group, and you'll see a whole bunch of trainings on there. If you have a pen and a notepad, I've got a couple specific recommendations. Because when I was brand new, post my first conference, I didn't listen to music, Joe, for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, we
True
were taught
story.
that. Remember, we had the rolling university.
Rolling university, man. I would spend hours every day driving. And if I was driving, I had
And say
SoundCloud
that again. How often?
every freaking day, bro. Every day, every time I
Hours
drove.
every day.
Hours, man. Because I would live in Virginia and I would drive 4 hours one way to Delaware in the morning, and all I listened to was Mastering the Phones with the Masters. That's the first one. Working Older Leads, 30K in 6 days, In the Appointment with Ashley Tarr, Emotional Labor is a really good one. And I would listen to those on repeat, dude. I'd be listening to In the Home as I'm on my way to go run an appointment. And so it'd be fresh in my mind. And to be honest, man, if I looked at my SoundCloud, I've probably streamed some of those like upwards of 40 or 50 times. And so that's the first thing. Some of y'all ain't going to do it, but the people who are serious about this will, because the truth is, if you go get a job somewhere and they're going to pay you 100 or 200 or some of y'all $300,000 in a year, they're not going to do that without you being trained to be an expert at your craft. And the people who are at the top of this company, the top producers, the elite producers, the one thing that they all do is they take this very seriously and they train either daily or weekly. And when you're new, you should be doing that daily. And so for the people who miss that, it's Mastering the Phones with the Masters, Working Older Leads, In the Home with Ashley Tarr, Emotional Labor, and there's another one, it's called On the Phones, or It All Starts on the Phones with Sarah Pappas. But if you search Symmetry Financial Group, you'll see all of those. Listen to them on repeat. The other thing I would suggest is be on this call every Thursday. Joe's doing this for free, y'all. Joe made over 300 grand last year, and he's doing this for free. And so if you're on this, just not taking notes, not being present, you're wasting your time and his. And so we do this to train people. We don't get paid to do this, but we want you guys to get better, because the reason people quit is because they don't make money. And we're trying to teach you how to go out there and make some money. The other thing is I would be on the national call, the Monday Cook weekly call, and I would be on the sales deep dive call every Thursday at 11 if you want some extracurricular. The other piece of training that you're going to get is on the job. Okay, that's making dials, practicing your script, running appointments. And a couple tips I would give everybody is, if you're dialing and you're going to sit down and make dials for like 3 hours, I would shoot your upline a quick text and say, hey, I'm about to be making my 200 dials. And I would call them after every 5 contacts with a question. Don't call them if you don't have a question. Don't call them and complain. I got hung up on 8 times. What do I do? Call them and ask a question every 5 contacts. When I was brand new, Joe, I called my upline Grant sometimes 12 times a day.
Dude, we would all talk. Remember, we would all talk. We
Yeah.
had group chats and we were just literally, this was going
Yep.
on, this was going on, this was going
Yep.
on. Right.
We'd
Like
call each other at midnight when we're driving home from our appointments out of state. Be like, how'd your day go,
how was
man?
your
What'd you
day?
do? Yep. And
Right. And you know, now that you say that, I would also do in self-training is find a running buddy.
yes,
Right?
so good.
Find a running buddy. Do not do this by yourself. The whole point of Symmetry, agents come and people come to Symmetry from other places because the mentorship and the training sucks. We have it here and we don't take advantage of it. Find a running buddy, right? Find a running buddy a little bit higher than your level because you want them to pull you up, right?
Yep.
And your running buddy is not to complain, it's to find out what they did for the day so that it can inspire you. Right? Like take that so seriously because we have always done, we still do it to this day. We all have running buddies. If you don't have a running buddy, that's one of your biggest mistakes, right? Like fix that today. Please reach out to somebody you think could be your running buddy and just say, hey, can you be my running buddy? Right? Like if you don't have one today, like that is that important too, right? It's associating with them. Because before we get off the topic of self-training, right? I want everyone to realize. So if you've ever heard me talk about the 3 walls, it's production, building, right, and self-development. And today we're talking about production, right? In production, there's only three things. So write these down, because if you can start checking off boxes, right? And I'm going to use Josh as an example, right? But so like, because we talked about this earlier, right? So there's only 3 things that are going to stop you from being the greatest producer ever, right? And when I say that, I'm serious. Like you should be on your own pin. You can absolutely deposit 20 grand a month at your commission level, right? So the first wall is activity. You need to fix activity. If you're committing to $200 a day, that one's checked, right? If you're doing $300 a day, it's checked off even harder, right? But you got to commit. It can't take activity off the table so that you know you can go out there and produce. And it has to be $200 minimum a day until you become a 15K issue paid producer. You should never stop that because then you can't, because if not, the first thing any mentor is going to tell you, no, if you were to call me and be like, hey, I want to work on my production, great. What are your dials a day? It's 85, it's 150. Great. I can't coach you any farther until we take activity off the table. Right? So activities, $200 or 6 appointments, right? For tomorrow. The next thing is what's the next barrier is going to be investment. Okay. Investment. You got to invest in leads every single week. Okay. The investment part is going to be based on your goal. If you want to go make $500 a week, right, you can probably invest $100 a week, right? But if you're trying to be a 5K a week producer, it's probably going to be upwards of $500 to $800 a week minimum. Okay. Because, right, if you write 5K, you make 3,000 just about, right? So if you invest 800 and make 3,000, I call that a hell of a week, Elijah, right? So you got to look at investment and it has to be done weekly. Take that off the table. Then the next one is training. You just got to train like no tomorrow, right? I always use the Kobe, right? I love using Kobe as an ally. Why did he become one of the greatest NBA players ever? He just out-trained everyone. And I love watching his recordings because he does one where he was at the gym and a guy showed up and they did their 2-hour training and the guy stopped and Kobe stayed there playing a little bit more and then they finally met at the showers and he's like, dude, he goes, I came in here and finished and you were still out there. We're like, when do you finish? He goes, dude, I was done a long time ago. I just wanted to show you weren't going to out train me. Like that mentality is just, for me, it's beautiful, but it's for yourself, right? So like, think about it. If we're talking about 2 SoundCloud audios a day, the production call, all our huddles, you're becoming a Kobe. You're just naturally, no matter what, gonna get ahead so far and so fast that you're gonna be one of the greatest producers at Symmetry. You have to truly believe that, but you got to go practice, right? You got to get trained, right? So I love to hit on that because it's only 3 walls. I hope y'all wrote that down. If you're struggling in production, it's only three things. Now, here's the problem as your uplines. We don't know what it is for you. We're not even analyzing your business can we find out because it's in there somewhere. So you got to take activity off the table, you got to take investment off the table, and then you got to take training off the table. When you do that, I promise you, you will be a 5K a month or 5K a week producer, right? You just got to do whatever it takes. When I say activity, sometimes I have seen they were investing and they were training. It was the activity thing. They had to dial 500 dials a day for 7 or 8 days. And then once he broke that wall, all of a sudden he was a 30K a month producer. And he deposited more. I think he deposited like 2 months later, he deposited $27,000 in his bank account on his own pin. But you have to figure that out, right? We just don't know what it is for you. But I promise you it's inside of those three things. So self-training, right? Just realize that. Like go train like never before during this 90-day blitz. Again, it's a growth spur, right? And you're going to start getting more sits, more everything. So you have to be ready for it. You have to be on your toes, right? And if we're saying go be a doctor, right? Go make doctor money, go make more than doctors. An average doctor makes about 150 grand a year, right? Well, they did 8 years worth of training. You need to fit that in 90 days. Is a great analogy.
50 grand in student loan debt.
Right? Like you gotta compress, right? If a doctor makes 150 grand or 200 grand, right? And it's 8 years worth of school to make that kind of income. In our perspective, we have to fit 8 years worth of knowledge in the insurance industry to make 200 grand a year in 90 days. Right? So just put that into perspective of how much training you need. Right? Again, we had a huge advantage when we were driving because like Elijah said, we literally listened to like 4 to 6 hours a day of SoundCloud because we had 30 to 45 minutes in between each drive to each appointment. And then I had like 2 to 4 hours going to the city I was going to run appointments and then coming home at night if Elijah didn't pick up my phone. Right? Because I'm in the West Coast and I was trying to wake him up at 12 o'clock. Like, dude, I got a 2-hour drive. How was your day? Right? So just put that into perspective. Train like crazy. Now the fun part, right? The next three are the fun parts for me. And I think it's important because look, I didn't beat y'all up, but I told y'all this is going to suck. Right? Like more dials than ever before. We commit to a very hard schedule. I love how y'all are comparing in the chat like a 75 hour. This is hard. It is hard to do a 90-day blitz and be consistent at it. Right? So let's talk about some fun stuff. Why do I want to do this? Right? My bank account. And I want to talk about some results, right? And I want to talk about why do you want to do a 90-day blitz? And James, if you can unmute. So like James, right? I'm sad my little brother's leaving my house, right? I love my brother living in my home because me and him are like best friends. But right, he's got
6 houses down the street.
Yeah, we're gonna compromise.
Same
6
block,
houses down the
6
street.
houses down.
I'm sad, Elijah. I feel like I'm losing him. Right? But he had some goals. Right? He had some goals. So if you got some goals, tie him to this 90-day blitz. Right? And James, just right, you've been doing it for what, 10 days? And you've seen massive results already.
Yeah, I've deposited over 8 grand already. Still coming.
8 grand in 10 days. In 10 days, $8,000. Why were you doing it, dude? What are you trying to do?
Just move out, get my own place, and I have some goals. Just want to move up to the next level. And I gotta branch out.
He's got to buy furniture, Joe, to furnish that.
Yeah, I literally do. So I was like, I gotta buy furniture. I gotta do this. So I'm still not stopping. So that was just the first part.
And then what's the why, right? Who's coming with you?
Oh, my son's gonna come move in with me. So
right, like that's huge. His son, where's your son?
He's in Texas.
He's in Texas. This is big for him. This is really big for him. And I want you to know that, James. Like, I'm proud of you, dude. Like, his son's in Texas, right? And he's getting a home so that his son can come live with him and they can spend more time together, right? Like, this is why results matter, right? Is it hard, James? Has this been hard for you even again, right? To kind of get back into a 90-day blitz?
Yeah. So, it's a ramp up. It doesn't happen overnight. But being consistent is what happened. The first week, honestly, I actually started before this. First week, I thought I was gonna hit it. I only wrote like $1,500 the first week. But I was being consistent because like we came back from whatever we did, and I was ramping up whatever, my leads just started coming in. I just upped everything, being consistent, getting the right. I was uncomfortable. That first week was the hardest, waking up early, doing the right stuff as well. But I knew by being uncomfortable, I know some change is happening. If you're comfortable, then there's something wrong. You're not doing something right. You need to check that list and keep doing it as well. I mean, when I first even started too, I mean, the thing you want the most, you have to give up first. I mean, Ryan Miller told us that, and that stuck to with me as well. Whether it's money, it's time, wherever it is, you have to give it up. I left my son from Texas 5 years ago. That was the hardest decision I ever did in my life. But to be able to spend more time with them and be able to fly him. So now I can fly him whenever he wants. Say, hey, you want to fly over here? Boom, done. You want to come for a week? Done. So I can spend more time with them. And now that, the right time that he's able to come over here and able to move him over here and be like, hey, don't worry about the bills. Don't worry about anything. Just come hang out with me. I'll show you the way of this, and be able to do the goals, because I was real close to my son. We spend all the time together. But I had to give that up to be able to do this, what I'm doing now. That's my why.
Love it, dude. Love it. Right. And again, right, it's results and it's bank accounts and right. Like Nicole, we talk about a 90-day blitz. Really, I've had Nicole, like she's like at a 120-day blitz at this point or so. Right. Like let's talk about some results. The past couple of months, how much have you deposited? What has it done for you, Nicole?
I've cleared 23,000 in 2 months net. I like to talk about net because that's what I get to keep. That's what I get to pay the bills with. Replacing my husband's income, like he gets to just be a pastor after 20 years of having to work full time, have a bunch of kids at home, and still try to pastor, which is his passion. Now he can just focus on that. It's life changing.
23,000. So when we say 30K in 90 days in your bank account, I'm telling y'all, it's very possible and so much more. I love that, Nicole. And then lifestyle, like what has it done for you and your kids right now? Just little stuff, right? It's the little things.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're like our kids have helped out so much in the last year with this transition. And they knew the first year would be the hardest, and we couldn't always pay them for what they did. And we're already like, I'm transferring money to their debit cards every day. Like,
Go.
and they're just seeing their morale come up because they're seeing the fruit now. Like they've grown so much, and that means more than anything that I've done. But yeah, I didn't know I was on a 90-day blitz already, but I guess I was.
She's like, now that I think about it, yeah. She's like, what do I got to do? I'm like,
I was the test dummy.
You got to drink some water. Let's start moving around. Let's $200 minimum. No, like I'm telling y'all, results are insane. Me personally, I started a week before, right? In April. Just in my 2 weeks of 90-day blitz, it's been 17, almost 18,000 in production. Right, over $15,000 in my personal PIN have deposited to my bank account in 10 days. A mission that I'm going for, right, of a 90-day blitz is, as an organization, I want to deposit $200,000 into my bank account in 90 days. A big portion of that's going to come out of my own PIN. I'm getting married next year. I want to prove to myself that through this industry, I can pay for a $50,000 wedding and tell my fiance right now, yes to whatever she wants for the wedding. That's my 90-day blitz goal. I need to deposit over 50,000 on my own personal PIN to go pay for this dream wedding for her that she deserves. And I'm going to tell her yes to absolutely. It has been the coolest thing. It feels like I'm in a movie, Nicole, to just be able, yep, whatever you want, babe. Whatever you want. She goes, what if we do this? Whatever you want. Right. And that whatever you want for me is tied to this 90-day blitz, because I'm like, oh, I better go down an extra 100 tomorrow. Right. Like I better go get another sit, because that's my why right now. Right. That's how I'm tying my 90-day blitz to create the dream wedding that me and my wife deserve, right? Like it's going to be insane, and that for me is exciting this year, right? But you got to be able to tie it to your bank account, because results matter, right? Like we don't want you to do a 90-day blitz and sacrifice for nothing. Like it is hard, right? The next one is lifestyle and life, and Nicole's already hit on this, right? Like it's not just the money, right? Like you know what I heard, Nicole, is your kids are developing because of a 90-day blitz. I want y'all to hear that, right? Like her kids have developed. They've stepped up more in the home. They are developing because of that. And that is super, super cool, right? This is a lifestyle. You got to commit to a lifestyle, right? I always reference millionaires because in all our books, right, that's what it says. I'm not saying we're all shooting to become a millionaire, but it is the lifestyle. The lifestyle here is you wake up at 5, 6 in the morning, you read, you walk, you're in good shape, you're in good health, you're taking care of yourself, right? Like if you don't know, right, I've lost 120 pounds here at Symmetry that I gained in my prior industries that were killing me. I looked super successful out there because I owned like 5 businesses. Everybody thought, Don, that I was crushing it and I was dying on the inside. It was physically killing me. It cost me a divorce. In case you don't know, the woman I'm marrying, I'm remarrying. We never really got married the first time, Dorinda. So this time I'm gonna give her the dream wedding she deserves, because she said yes again, right? I must be a great salesman, right? But it's the coolest thing here. It's a lifestyle, right? Like commit to the lifestyle. The lifestyle is I wake up, I exercise. I'm not saying go to the gym and go be super bowl. I'm just saying be healthy, right? Drink water, take care of yourself. It terrifies me. I'm diabetic. It terrifies me that if I pass away, my kids don't, right? Like my business live on. I'm not doing this for nothing, Don, right? Like 20 years, 30 years of my work ethic is not and will not be for nothing. I'm going to build something so big here that it's going to take care of them for the rest. It's going to take care of my great, great, great grandkids that I will never meet, but they will know what Joe did, right? Like that's how my name is going to live on. I want y'all to really think about that. This is a lifestyle that you have to commit to, because when you do, right, it's why Nicole, Amber, James, Nate, Elijah, when you ask a lot of these top producers, they're like, well, what did you change? And they're like, I don't know, right? Like, because we didn't change much. We just committed to these things, to the lifestyle, right? And a lot of times we're like, I'm struggling. And it's little things. You're just not reading, right? You're not waking up early. You're not taking charge of your day. You're not checking all these boxes every single day to get to wherever you have to get to. So again, I hope lifestyle really means something to you and y'all get the point that I'm saying there. Like commit to the lifestyle, right? And look, it's a lot of work ethic. It really is. I'm not promising you a 15-hour work week, right? If you're part-time, yes, right? But if you're full-time, it's definitely 40 to 50 hours, 60 hours at the beginning. It really is. If you want to move that fast, right? In the 90-day blitz, you're probably talking about maybe 60, 70 hours. I don't know, whatever that is. The cool part is those 60, 70 hours are in your home, right? It's not, Dorinda, it's not like when we have to go to the place, right? To our building and be there all day, right? Like it's different, right? Like you have to realize that too. It's 60 hours a week in your home, right? Like you're still there present. You can easily get up and go handle the kids. You can easily get up and go, right? Spend 10 minutes with your daughter or whatever and cook dinner. Like be flexible, right? Because take advantage of what we got here, right? And then the next thing is it's at every level. It's not the leads. If you truly get the first 4, it is not the leads. Anyone can do this at absolutely any level, right? You can do this with 50-cent leads. You can do this with brand new A leads. Because let me tell you, look, I've been here for 7 years. Symmetry holds my organization as one of the fastest new agent to SLO. Okay. Do y'all understand that? My agency in Symmetry has one of the fastest new agent to SLO. What does that really mean? I have the most experience in Symmetry of an agent telling me it's the lead, not them. And I really want y'all to understand that, because as you do a 90-day blitz, more than likely you start making more money, you start SLOs, right? And you're like, sweet, Nate, A leads have arrived. right? Like I am now a 5K, 10K producer. Let me tell you, right? And Nate, James, right? Like we've all been on 30, 40 CI leads since January. We all haven't written 30 grand a month, right? It's not the leads, I promise you. It's committing to the lifestyle, right? And just be okay with I fumble, I get back up and work. I fumble and I get back up and work, and I'm trying every single day to do my best. I promise you, the results are absolutely insane, right? For my brother to say, hey, I just put my head down and I refocus on the 90-day blitz and I deposited $8,000 in my bank account in less than 10 days, right? Because he had that since Friday, right? Like that is what's possible. You can go out there and absolutely crush it, right? So please just 90-day blitz, commit to it. I hope y'all understand, right? The 5 things we've talked about, work on those, right? Like inside of the 90-day blitz is like the practicality of it, like check those boxes, but know these 5 things are like the bigger picture of, hey, this is what I'm developing on, right? Because I want to live the lifestyle, right? And the lifestyle, the work ethic of the lifestyle, you live it first and then you start getting rewarded for it, right? Like it sucks to wake up and walk, right? Like I don't see the results that week, right? It's 90 days later, right? That, hey, you know what? I feel healthier because of that, right? And you know what? I had a lot more clarity every single day, right? Because I got up and walked, right? To just realize, give it time, right? Like even same thing for the training. It's not like you go listen to one SoundCloud Elijah and whoa, I wrote 15K this week. That doesn't happen, right? So
That'd be
I
pretty
hope this
crazy if
call
that
was
did
super
happen.
valuable. Elijah, anything you want to close it out with?
All I would say is, I mean, commit to this, stick to it. It ain't going to be easy. At the end of the day, the 9-day blitz, the purpose of it is to teach you the recipe of making 20 or 30 grand in a month, or 10
That's
grand in
good.
a month, not 30 grand in 90 days. It's a recipe. Right combination of leads, right combination of activity, right combination of training and personal development, which is going to help you stick to the activity and be effective at it. And every day is a new day. You're going to have some days where you maybe miss something. Don't beat yourself up. I mean, we all miss stuff sometimes, but every day is a chance to reset. And the next person, the next lead you call, the next appointment you run, they have no idea what happened yesterday or last week. And so don't bring that into the next appointment. But if you commit to this thing, I think you'll pop your head up in 90 days and life will look completely different. And you're going to come out of that with all of the skills, the mindset, the tools to where this becomes a fun lifestyle. Because where Joe and me and James and Nathan and Amber are at now, there are days it does seem easy where you kind of just fall into production and it's like, oh, I know for a fact I'm making over 10 grand this month. And it can become regular and simple and easy once you stack momentum and build those wins by sticking to a 90-day blitz like this. So don't negotiate with it, stick to it.
Awesome. Later, y'all.